Of course, I resented my mother.
What were you doing at bars at 9?
Hanging out with a bunch of 25-years-olds. So I didn't want to go off and play Barbies. I wanted to go out to a club and dance.
Now, I know what you're thinking. What was the mother doing? Well, I'll ask her if you like. Ladies and gentlemen, Jade Barrymore.
Where were you when she was going to parties and bars at 9?
I was never with her at bars. She would go her way and I would go my way.
You just decided to just let her have some space?
Yes.
That's exactly the age where you need some guidance.
I didn't feel safe with her.
Drew called her mother and demanded that she move out of the house.
I thought we were going to take the high ground here. Obviously not.
I think society puts a lot of pressure on you that you have to love your family.
Were all the people you loved at the wedding?
Yes.
Was your mother there?
She was not there.
Drew Barrymore opens up about facing her mom after years of bitterness.
It's scary because I want to stay sober so bad. There is a possibility that I could slip again.
Aren't you worried your daughters are going to end up like you?
It is a success story because we both went to rehab.
When and how did you go into rehab?
When I was 13, my mom put me in there. I came home drunk and trashed the house. She sent me to a lockdown facility.
What was it like for someone your age?
You would get the boot all the time, and I hated it at first. I had nothing but freedom up until that point, dancing on tables in every club on the planet, and all of a sudden it was, you have no freedom. You will figure out your life. You're staying here until we tell you you've changed.
Drew came from a broken family with no guidance.
My own mother had to kick my father out because he was a drug addict. And, you know, you can't believe as a kid that your father would rather choose drugs than be a father. And so, of course, I resented my mother. I don't think I was really thrilled with my real life, so I would go on these sets for 3 months at a time and create these families and just fall in love with them, and the only thing that was painful was when they had to separate.
I liked being around older people. I felt like I could relate to them better.
Why?
I didn't want to go off and play Barbies. I wanted to go out to a club and dance.
Her mom pushed her to act at age 5 and took her to parties where Drew started drinking.
There were a lot of industry functions. When we got there, we would stay together for time, then she would go her way and I would go my way.
You just decided to just let her have some space?
Yes.
And I just have little sips here and there, and you know, like if you can't control it, it progressively gets worse. And unfortunately, I was one of those people.
Drew called her mother and demanded that she move out of the house.
When I got home, she was there, and I was real drunk, and I got just real angry, you know, that she was there. I started throwing things, so she got real fed up. She didn't want to take it anymore.
Trapped in the lockdown center, Drew felt like her mother had abandoned her.
And I would watch the world from these windows, and I was just like, God, like, does that person realize how cool it is to just be able to walk across the street?
It was so upsetting at first, but they saved my life.
And they single-handedly gave me 18 years worth of parenting in a year and a half. So when I got out, they felt that my mom and I would be best apart. It was incredibly painful. I got emancipated legally when I was 15, just turned 15.
That was sort of the end of it. We just went in our separate ways and had to go and live different lives.
Freed from her mom's toxic influence, Drew tried to create a normal, stable life for herself.
Got my first apartment, got my job at my coffee house, and was living life. I felt happy for the first time in my life because I felt like I didn't have any pressure on me anymore.
But soon she realized she was alone, and so she went back to the only family she knew on a movie set.
One day I realized that I wasn't being true to myself, that I was lying to myself by saying I was happy not doing the thing that makes me the happiest of anything in my life.
Starting my own production company was my way of trying to make my dreams come true. It's a great way to work with people I love.
And when Drew met Tom Green, she was drawn to his humor and stability.
I had this big crush on him before I met him.
I admired your work so much. And so I reached out to you and, you know, asked you to come and do Charlie's Angels.
We kind of hit it off right away.
When Tom introduced her to his parents, Drew thought she'd finally found a safe family.
I remember this night just being so content. And I was at your parents' lake house, and I remember hearing all their voices upstairs, and I was just by myself, and I was going to sleep, and I was like, yeah, this is what you know, safety and contentedness feels before you're going to sleep. And I will never forget that night.
But her sense of safety quickly disappeared when their relationship ended.
It was an unsustainable rocket ship of a ride. If I made the ultimate promise of my life and I wasn't keeping it, and it was the hardest decision I've ever made in my life.
Alone again, Drew went back to being that little girl who needed a mom.
If there's one thing I think that we need in this world, it's not to feel alone. Because I'll tell you this, when you're a kid and you don't have family around you, you look around and you come out of your room and you go, where is everybody? Hello?
But when she was at her lowest, her friends Cameron and Lucy were the ones to pick her up off the floor.
If I survived in this world, I really give a tremendous credit to the friends I had. They were the family that taught me how to be a family.
You have a big soul and a big heart, and you have gone through tough times in your life. You've had issues with your family, marriages, divorces.
I got so lucky to live a life with you guys.
Cameron and Lucy's support showed Drew that she could build her own healthy family.
I always knew that I wanted to create a wonderful, healthy, safe family environment, but I didn't know how I was going to get there.
But first, she had to face the family who let her down.
When you get older, you sort of start to forgive that person. You know, she was really just trying to do her best, and she was a young mother. She gave me an incredible amount of opportunities. Society puts a lot of pressure on you that you have to love your family, and I think you do have to love your family. It doesn't mean you have to spend all your time with them.
Were all the people you loved at the wedding?
Yes. Yeah, it was a perfect curation of a this is your life moment.
Was your mother there?
She was not there, actually, which was really hard. Really, really hard.
You made the choice not to invite her.
We both discussed it, and we just thought it would be best. That's where I feel like a grown-up, is with my mom.
And with her friends and her newborn daughter, Drew created the happy family she always wanted.
Everyone has their own unique little journey, and mine was very unorthodox, but it's ironic because it's made me like the pillars of appropriateness as a parent. I went the total opposite way.
I did not have guidance. And that is why I lived my life that way. And although I am proud of it and I don't want to spend the rest of my life regretting it, there is no option for her to take that path because she has guidance.
The experience that you have and that you have to share is exciting, and I think that you should feel free to do that because that's who you are.
Life is constantly full of twists and turns and all of those things that happen over a lifetime.
I know there are people who have helped me out of those times, so I know I'm capable of helping others out of those times. But when you see that you can break through and get out of them and not have it be an excuse in life to be broken, then it's just so liberating. Believe in yourself and believe in your empowerment and not wait for someone to rescue you and do it for you. That you can go out there and create it all for yourself.